Hi, and thanks for joining us for our class today. So today's class is a mat-based class, really focusing on challenging and engaging our pelvic floor and core stability muscles. So I hope you enjoy the class. Remember, always work to a level that suits you and that you feel comfortable with, because most importantly, you want to enjoy it. So we're going to start the class by warming up in standing, and then we're going to come down onto our mat to continue from there. Okay, so when you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to bring our toes apart and those heels apart, so those feet at that hip width distance. Just to start with, we're going to transfer that weight coming to the front of your toes and then back onto your heels. So just gently forwards and back. Just looking to find that midpoint between those two movements, so that weight's going nice and evenly down through your feet. Knees are soft, not locked back, hands up onto your pelvis. Very gently, we just tilt that pelvis forward, tilting it back. Again, looking for that midpoint between those two movements. So our pelvis in that nice and neutral position. Lovely. That core's gently engaged, ribs are soft, collarbones wide, and that neck nice and long and lifted. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start by bringing your hands and pop them behind our head. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just reach those elbows nice and wide if you can. And then we're going to reach up to the ceiling, bring our hands back down, and then drop into a little side bend, lift up, opposite side, back, and then we'll reach those hands back up. Lovely. Coming back down behind your head, drop down, little side bend, opposite side, and then reach those hands up really tall into the ceiling. Drop hands behind your head, dropping down and back, and again, and back, and then reach up to the ceiling. Good. Hands behind your head, drop down to that side bend, back up, opposite side, and back, and then reaching up. Good. Dropping down, drop down and back, opposite side, back, and then reaching up tall. Good. And again, drop down, reaching over, back, opposite side, back, and reaching up. Lovely. One more time. Drop down, reaching over, opposite side, back to that center, and then we're going to float those arms back down. Well done. Relax those shoulders. Okay, so still keeping our feet that hip width distance apart, we're going to go into our balance series from here. So we're going to float our hands up to shoulder height, come up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, floating those hands up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, float those hands up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. So those knees are going over those toes, keeping that hip width distance apart. So we don't want those knees knocking in or widening, keeping that hip width distance apart as you lower down. Good. Floating up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. Now keep that core engaged if you can. We're going to float our hands up to the ceiling, up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. So really keep that core engaged as we lift up, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, reaching up nice in control, bending the knees, lower the feet and down. Very good. Last few here. Keeping that control. Well done. Reaching up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Lovely. Last one. Reaching up, bend the knees, lower the feet and back down. Well done. Okay, so we're going to do a sort of scissors type movement now. So we're going to bring one leg just in front. Now really aiming to keep this pelvis level, that core still engaged, and we're going to lift up and tap down. So we're lifting up, flexing at the hip, and lift up. The knee stays flexed and we lift up using that hip. So lift up, tap down. The leg you're standing on, knees soft, not locked back, and it's working hard to support you as well. If you can, we'll add the arms just to shoulder height and float down. So lift up, floating down, keeping that pelvis level, not going higher than that hip height with that leg. Good. Lift up and lower. Good. Lift up and lower. Well done. And down. And down. Lovely. Now on this next one, we're going to lift up if you can. We're going to open out into a sort of hip twist movement, fold it back and lower down. Good. And again, lift up, opening out, folding back and down. Very good. Opening out, nice and control, not too far with that hip, just like when we do a hip twist lying down. Opening out, keeping that control, and down. Good. And again, lift up, opening out, folding back, and lower down, keeping that core engaged. Well done. That leg you're standing on is working really hard to support you as well. Open out, folding back, and down. Lovely, one more time. Lift up, opening out, folding back and lower back down. Well done. Okay, so let's do the same on the other side. So opposite leg just in front here. Keeping that pelvis level again. Just going to flex at the hip and we're going to lift up, tap down. So just going to that hip height level. If that feels too much, just go a little bit lower, but that's what we're aiming for. Lift up, tap down. This leg that we're standing on is working hard to support you. Make sure that knee's not locked back. That core is engaged. Good. Now if we can, we'll add those arms in, lift up and lower. Good. So just keep breathing. Breathe out as you lower if you can. Breathe in, lifting up. Nice and controlled. But just make sure you're not holding your breath. Well done. Lower down. Now on this next one, as we did before, we're going to combine in that hip twist. So we're going to lift up, open out, fold back and lower down. So keep that core engaged, nice and controlled, not a big movement, remember, and down. Well done. Lift up, open out, fold back and down. Lovely, well done. Lift up, opening out, folding back and lower down. So that leg you're standing on is supporting you, working hard to balance as well. Good. And again, lift up, opening out and back. Lovely. Last few. And folding back. Lovely. One last time. Opening out, folding back and lower back down. Very good. Well done. Okay. So we're going to do what we call like a little half star movement now, and we're reaching out of our base of support to really challenge that core a little bit. So just standing on one leg, this leg can move with you, okay, so it doesn't need to stay still. We're going to bend at the knee with us, and we're going to tap our toe in front, tap it out to the side, and then tap it behind you, okay. So reach forwards, reach to the side, and reaching back. Tapping forwards, reaching to the side, and reaching back. Good. Tap forwards, out to the side, and back. Good. So this leg bending with you, moving, so reaching away out of that base of support, controlling that through our centre. Well done, reaching away. Reach to the side and reaching back. Good. Reach forward, out to the side and back. Allow this leg you're standing on, allow that knee to bend as we're reaching away and reaching behind. Good. Very good. Tapping away and reaching back. Good. Moving forwards, out to the side and back. Last few here. Reach forwards, out to the side and back. One more time. Reach forwards, out to the side and reaching back. Good. And relax that leg back down. Very good. Okay, so we're going to do the same on the other side now. So we're going to, this leg we're standing on, knee soft, and we're going to reach forward to the other leg, reach out to the side and reaching back. And again, tapping forwards, out to the side and back. That leg you're standing on, allow it to move with you, out to the side and back. Good. Tapping forwards, out to the side and back. Tap forwards, out to the side, reaching back. Good. Tap forwards, out to the side and reach back. Lovely. Well done. Tap forwards, out to the side and reaching back. Good. Tap forwards, out to the side and reaching back. Lovely. Last few here. Out to the side and back. Keeping that control through that centre. Well done. Out to the side and back. One last time. Tapping forwards, out to the side and back. Well done, and relax those legs. Very good. Okay, so let's just get our spines moving now with a roll down. So feet still that hip width distance apart. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, just slowly curling down through our spine, rolling your hands slowly down towards the floor. Take a breath in at the end here. Then as you breathe out, slowly restacking, gently back up into standing. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, slowly curling down towards the floor, rolling those hands down. Breath in at the end here. And as you breathe out, we're going to gently restack back up into standing. You're going to come to the end of my mat because in a minute we'll roll down, but we're going to do that again. Breath in. As we breathe out, tuck that chin down, just rolling slowly down towards the floor, just gently. Breath in at the end here. Then as you breathe out, slowly restacking, back up into standing. Lovely. Now last time, but this time we're going to stay down. So breath in. As you breathe out, drop that chin down, rolling those hands slowly down towards the floor. Breath at the end here. And as you breathe out, just soften those knees. Breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to walk our hands down onto the mat. We're going to come into 4-point kneeling, and we're going to continue our class from here. Okay, so we're going to continue our class from here. So we have our hands underneath those shoulders, elbows nice and soft, knees under those hips, our back's nice and flat. Just tuck that tailbone under gently, and that core's just gently lifted. So think about that belly button just lifting up towards the spine there. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start by just taking a breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to lengthen one leg away, keep that leg lengthened, and we're just going to draw a little rainbow with those toes. So just a little rainbow up and down, keeping that pelvis level, keep that core engaged. So we're really focusing on that control through that centre. Now if you can, I want you to make that rainbow a little bit bigger. Still breathing in and out, well done. A little bit bigger again with that rainbow. Keeping that control through that centre, well done, that core's engaged. Good, and let's make that rainbow a little bit smaller again. Good, still breathing in and out. And then a little bit smaller again. Good. And then extending that leg, folding back again, well done. Okay, we do the same on the other side, so breath in. As we breathe out, reach that leg away. Keeping that pelvis level, that core gently engaged, and we're going to just do some little rainbows here. So just some small movements, drawing those rainbows with those toes, up and down. Good. Breathing in and out as we're moving up and down from here, well done. Good, let's take those rainbows a little bit bigger. Well done. And a little bit bigger again. Still breathing in and out. And a little bit bigger one more time. Moving through. Good. Now let's make them a little bit smaller again. And a little bit smaller again. Good. Keeping that pelvis level, keeping that core engaged. And just little ones here. And then bring that leg back to that centre and then fold back in. Well done. Okay, so on this next one, we're going to take a breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to reach the leg away, at the same time reaching the arm. And then we're going to open the arm out to the side, keeping that leg extended, back to that centre, fold back together. Good. Let's alternate sides, opposite leg. Reaching away, reach opposite arm. Keep that leg there, arm out to the side, back to the centre, and folding back. So really focusing on keeping this centre, keeping that core engaged. And again, breath in as you breathe out, reaching away. If you can, arm out to the side, back to the centre, fold back in. Good, and again. So just a little variation of our swimming movement, Superman movement, whatever you want to call it here. So reaching away, arm out to the side, back to the centre and folding back. Keep this neck long, that head's looking down at the mat. So we're keeping that neck nice and long. Opening out, folding back, reaching back together. Good, okay, and again, reaching away. Arm out to the side, back, and fold back. Good. Breathing out as you're reaching away. Breathing in as you're folding back. Folding back together. Well done. Nice and control. So I often say, imagine you've got that tray of drinks on your back. You don't want it to spill. So we're trying to keep that pelvis, that nice and level, that real centering that control here. Well done. And folding back. Lovely. Reaching away. Back to the centre and folding back. Good. And folding back. Lovely. Last few here. And folding back. Let's do one more each side. Reaching away, folding back, coming back down. Well done. And folding back. Well done. We're going to drop off our wrists, come down into a child pose stretch. So just take a breath in here. As you breathe out, just sink down. Sink that bottom down onto your heels. Relax those shoulders down. And just have a nice stretch through that spine. So we're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, relaxing down from here. Well done. Breath in. And as you breathe out, Sinking down just that little bit further if you can. Good. And again, breath in. And as you breathe out, relaxing down that little bit further. One done. One more time. And just relaxing out here. Very good. So just going to walk our hands back up. Good, and we're going to come down onto our sides from here. So if you've got a little block or a pillow or something you use, you can just grab that now. And we're going to use that just to support our head and our neck. So that's a nice long position from there. Lovely. So we're going to start with our clam here. So we're going to have our feet roughly in line with those hips there. So his knees are bent up, hips stacked on top of each other. Just drop that top waist down so you feel that underneath waist. Just lift gently there. And throughout this exercise, we want to keep those hips stacked on top of each other. So feet together, we're going to lift up the top knee and lower back down. So keeping those hips stacked, we're lifting and lowering through this top knee. Good. Now you want to feel it in that back pocket side area. If you don't, you might just want to straighten or bend your knees slightly, sometimes just to get that in the right place. You can just try that if you need to. So lifting and lowering through that top knee. Got that imaginary wall behind me. I'm not letting my hips roll back. I'm keeping them stacked as I lift and lower through this top knee. Good. And again, lift up and lower. Keeping those hips stacked as we lift and lower through that top knee. Well done. Now if that feels okay here, we can either stay at this level, or if you can, we're going to lift our feet up to that hip height and then lift and lower again from here. So a little bit further through this range, still keeping those hips stacked as I lift and lower. Imagine that wall behind you, not rolling back into it. We're keeping stacked. Well done. Lifting and lower from here. If it feels too much with your feet raised, just pop them back down and carry on there if you can. So lifting and lowering. Good. Well done. Keeping that core engaged still. We're working on these glutes as well. Well done. Lifting and lowering. Good. Good. And again, lifting and lowering. Good. One more here. And if those feet are raised, we're going to lower them back down. And if you can, do last few together, lifting and lowering that top knee again from here. Well done. Good. Lifting and lowering. Still keeping that core engaged as we lift and lower from there. Lovely. Let's do one more. And relax that leg down. Well done. Just drop that leg in front. Give that muscle a little stretch out there, a little rest. While we're resting this top leg, we can just do a few little lifts and lowers of that inner thigh. So just lifting and lower, still keeping that core engaged, that upper body relaxed. So I'm still controlling that center and just doing a few little inner thigh lifts here. Just engage that there. Well done. Still breathing in and out, not holding your breath. Well done. Lifting and lowering. Good. Last few here. And one more and lower back down. Okay, so we're going to straighten both legs out together. Just have your feet just slightly in front of you so my hips are slightly bent. And I'm going to lift this top leg up here and I'm going to tap the foot in front and then tapping my foot behind. If that feels a little bit too wobbly through that center, just bend this lower leg and just to give you a little bit more stability, okay, if you need to. But otherwise, we're going to tap in front and tap behind. So really challenging this core to control that movement. We're working our glutes as well to lift that leg, but we're going to just control tapping in front and tapping behind, still keeping those hips stacked and tapping behind. Good. Tapping that foot in front and tapping behind. Well done. And again, tapping in front and tapping behind. Lovely. Tapping in front, tapping behind. Really controlling through that center and tapping behind. Lovely. A few more here. Still breathing, not holding your breath. Well done. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Lovely. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Good. And let's do one more. We're going to tap in front and tap behind. Good. Back to that center. Lower that leg back down. Well done. Bend those knees. Give that muscle a little rub. Have a rest there. Excellent. Okay, so let's come over to do the same on the opposite side. So bring your little block or pillow, towel, whatever you're using with you. We're going to come round. Just hop that head supported with that pillow, whatever you're using. We're going to bend our knees up to start with. So we have our feet and hips roughly in that line. Those hips are really stacked on top of each other. That core's gently engaged. That top top waist is just dropped down, so we feel that underneath waist just lift there. Okay, so we're going to start with that clam again. So feet together, we're going to lift up that top knee and lower back down. So keeping those hips stacked as you lift and lower. Lifting and lower. Now imagine you've got that imaginary wall behind you, not letting those hips roll back. So we don't want to make it too easy. That's what it wants to do to make it easy. And that would be terrible. So keep those hips stacked as we're lifting and lowering from there. Well done. Cores engaged as we lift and lower through that top knee. Well done. As I said before, imagine you want to feel it in that back pocket side area. If you don't, then just straighten or bend your knees up a little bit if you need to, just to get it working in the right place. Good. So lifting and lowering from here. Well done. Lift up and lower. Keeping that control. So lifting and lowering. Well done. If that's okay, we're going to raise those feet up to hip height if you can, and lift and lower again from here. If that feels too much with those feet lifted, then just keep those feet down. Lift up and lower. Well done. Still keeping those hips stacked as we lift and lower from here. Well done. Lift up and lower. Good. Well done. Lift up and lower. And let's do one more if those feet are raised. Then we're going to lower those feet back down. If you can, do last few, lifting and lowering through that top knee again. Well done. Lift up and lower. Very good. Keeping those hips stacked as we lift and lower here. Well done. Last couple. And one last time. And lower that leg down. Well done. Drop that leg in front. Give that muscle a little rub, a little stretch out there. While we're resting this top leg, we can just lengthen that lower leg and do a few lifts and lower of that inner thigh here. Still keeping that core engaged, my upper body's relaxed. Just lifting up and down with that lower leg here. Good. Still breathing in and out, not holding your breath. So we lift and lower through that lower leg. Well done. Good. Lifting and lowering. Keeping that control. Well done. Lifting and lowering. Lovely, well done. And one more here. And lower back down, very good. Okay, so we're going to straighten both legs out again. Just have your feet just slightly in front of you, so you just see the fronts there. Keeping those hips stacked on top of each other, that core's gently engaged. And we're going to lift this top leg up as far as you can, comfortably, and then we're going to tap it in front and then tap it behind. So keeping that core engaged, really challenging that stability here. And we're also working on our glutes as well. If that feels a little bit too challenging balance-wise, then just bend that lower leg just to give you a little bit more stability, okay? If you can, we're going to keep that leg straight. So tapping in front and tapping behind. Tapping in front and tapping behind. So nice and control, that core's engaged, and tapping behind. Good. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Good. So nice and control and tapping behind. Good. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Lovely. Keeping that control. Tap behind, tap in front. Good. Working those glutes, tapping in front and tapping behind. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Good. Lovely. Last few here. Keeping going. And behind. Tapping in front and tapping behind. Well done. One more time. Tap in front and tap behind. Come back to that center. Lower that leg back down. Well done. Bend those knees. Get that muscle rub. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to use that block to the side and we're going to come round onto our backs from here. So just coming down onto your back on the mat, have our feet that hip width distance apart, those feet and those knees, keeping them that hip width distance. Just to start with, we'll tilt that pelvis forwards and back, just looking to find that midpoint between those two movements. So that pelvis in that nice and neutral position. That core's gently engaged, ribs are soft, collarbones wide, and that neck nice and long and lifted from there. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to start with our hip twist movement. So if you can, we're going to bring one leg up into single tabletop. As you breathe out, we're going to open the leg apart, breathing in as you fold back and lower back down. Opposite leg lifted, breathing out as you open out, breathing in as you're folding back, lower back down. Good. So we're alternating sides here, opening out, folding back, lower back down. If that feels too much with your leg raised, then we can do the same movement with our feet down, just letting the knee drop to the side. So if that feels too much, just pick what's comfortable. So continuing to alternate sides here, but imagine you've got headlights on those hip bones and we're going to keep them pointing forwards. We don't want those headlights to roll or rotate, so we're keeping them pointing upwards. If you're finding you're getting too much movement through that pelvis, you're probably just moving that leg a little bit far. So just make that movement a little bit smaller if you can, okay? Just keeping that control, so really challenging that control through that core, through that centre. Well done. Now if you're comfortable here, we can bring both legs up into double tabletop and do the same again. So opening out side to side, again keeping that core engaged, keeping those headlights pointing up to the ceiling. Good. Opening out and folding back. Now if you're comfortable here, come back to that centre. We're going to float our hands up towards the ceiling. Now as we take the left leg out to the side, I want you to bring your right arm open and fold back together. Good. And alternate sides. So opposite leg opening out, opposite arm, fold back. So we're really challenging that centre a little bit more. We're bringing that opposite arm opening and folding back. So you might find your movement's a little bit smaller, but that's fine. If it feels too much with the arm, then don't worry, just stick with the legs and folding back. So a little extra challenge here. Breathing out as you're opening out, breathing in, folding back. So really concentrating on keeping that centre nice and stable, those headlights pointing up towards the ceiling. Good. Opening out and folding back. Good. And again, opening out, folding back. Lovely. Last few here. Keeping that control. A little bit of coordination as well involved in this one. Good. Opening out, folding back. Good. Opening out, folding back. Lovely. Let's do one more each side. And one more here. Folding back to that centre. If those arms are raised, float them back down. And then one at a time, float those legs back down to that start. Well done. Okay, so we're staying in this position, feet and knees at hip width distance apart. We're going to go into our bridge from here. So just make sure your feet aren't too far away from you so we don't get cramp in our hamstrings. Arms relaxed down by your side, that core's gently engaged. We'll take a breath in here. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, use those bottom muscles to help lift you up into this bridge. Breath in here. Then as you breathe out, walking that spine slowly back down onto the mat. Good, and again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up into that bridge. Breath in here. Then as you breathe out, slowly walking that spine back down onto the mat. Good, and again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up. Use those bottom muscles, lifting up into that bridge. Breath in here. Then as you breathe out, slowly walking back down onto the mat from here. Lovely. So continue here. If you're comfortable, as we come up into that bridge, keeping that pelvis level, we can add stretching that leg and then lowering back down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up, keeping that pelvis level and lengthening the leg and then slowly walking that spine back down. If that feels nice and comfortable there, then you can come up again as you lift up. Keep that pelvis lifted, keep it level. Extend one leg, keep lifted, then extend the other leg, and then slowly lower down. So what we're watching for as we add that leg movement in, we're not letting that bottom drop. We're keeping that pelvis nice and level here if we add that leg movement. But if that feels too much with the leg, then just keep those feet down. And we're just lifting and lowering in your own time, keeping that bottom engaged as you lift up. Breath in here. As you breathe out, walking that spine gently back down onto the mat. Good. And again, lifting up into that bridge. If you can, extending the leg. If you want to, then the opposite leg. And then slowly walking back down. Good. And again, lifting up. So just pick what's comfortable for you. Lengthening away, and again, and walking down. Well done. We'll just do the last few here, keeping that control. Lengthening the leg, then the opposite leg if you can, and slowly walking down. But you can just do one leg at a time, remember, if that feels more comfortable, or just keep your feet down. Good. And slowly coming down. Great, let's do one more here, tucking that pelvis under, coming up into that bridge, lengthening away, and again, and slowly walking that spine back down onto the mat. Well done. Let's bring those knees in, have a little hug, and stretch out through that back. Well done. So breathe in and out here. On that out breath, if you can, just sink down into that stretch that little bit further if you can. So breath in. As you breathe out, sink down, just opening out through that spine, just stretching out through that back. Well done. Breath in. And as you breathe out, relaxing down from here. Well done. And again, breath in. And as you breathe out, just sinking down again from here, that little bit further. Well done. Okay, so let's just walk those feet back down one at a time, coming back onto the mat from here. We're going to go into our double leg stretch. So we're just going to start with our arms to begin with. Now I really want you to focus on thinking about that core again, thinking about that centre staying nice and stable. So imagine you've got a little spring between those ribs and those hip bones here. We don't want to let that spring come out. We don't want to see any of that lifting through those ribs. So keep that down, keep that core engaged. We're going to float our hands up towards the ceiling. Breath in. As you breathe out, reach your arms above your head, come round in that D shape, and then back up. So breathe out as we reach away, breathe in as we come back round and up. Good. All the while, don't let those ribs flare. We're reaching above, coming around and back. So it might mean that you don't touch the floor behind you, not necessarily trying to do that. Just coming back to about here, opening around and back up. Good. And again, breathing out, breathing in as we fold back up. Lovely. Now we can add in our legs now. So we're going to float one leg up into tabletop. Reach the leg away and reach it back in as we come back together. Lower back down. Opposite leg lifted. Breathing out as you're reaching away. Breathing in as you're folding back together. Lovely. Now if that's comfortable there, we can bring both legs up into double tabletop. Reaching away, folding back together. Breathing out as you're reaching away. Breathing in as you're folding back together. Good. Reaching away and coming back together. Breathing out as you reach away, breathing in as you fold back together. Good. And folding back. Lovely. Reaching away and fold back. If that feels comfortable with single leg, then we can reach away with both legs. Breathing in as we come back together. Breathe out as you reach away. Breathe in as you fold back. So we've got some options there. Either with one leg in tabletop, both leg in tabletop and just stretching single leg like this out and alternating sides. Or if you want to, we can reach away both legs, breathe in as you fold back. So it's a little bit tougher there. Keeping that control, reaching away, folding back together. Good. Reaching away, folding back together. Lovely. Nice and control. Breathing out, so reaching away, breathing in as we're folding back together. Good. Lovely, let's do one more time here. Reaching away and then folding back together. Very good. Lowering those legs down if they're lifted and float those hands back down from here. Very good. Okay, so arms down by your side or out to the side of you. We're going to drop those knees over to one side. Turn your head to the opposite side if you can. Use those toe muscles to bring those knees back up to that centre, then over to that opposite side. So opening out, coming back up, and then over to that opposite side. Well done. So just opening out, side to side from here. Just enjoying that stretch. Use those toe muscles to bring those knees back up and over to that centre. Dropping those knees over, coming back up, and over to that opposite side. Good, and again, dropping the knees over, turning that head, coming back up, and over to that opposite side. Good, dropping over, last few here. Just opening out through that spine, enjoying that stretch. And back up, well done. And one more time here, dropping over. And back up, and last time on the opposite side. And then back to that center, well done. Bring those arms back down by your side. Okay, so we're going to stretch out through the backs of our legs now. So knee up to the ceiling, we're going to lengthen through the back of the leg. Use your hand to support that leg there. We're going to stretch out through our hamstrings. So we're just going to breathe in and out, just lengthen through the back of the leg, just holding that stretch here. Good. And then if you can, we're going to just change that stretch slightly and point and flex through the ankle, just adding that little bit of ankle mobility, pointing and flexing through that foot. Good. No tension in that upper body, just relaxing here as we point and flex through that ankle. Well done. And then holding that stretch again, toes pointing up to the ceiling, lengthening through the back of the leg. Well done. Good. And then slowly lowering that leg back down. Well done. And then opposite leg, knee up to the ceiling, going to lengthen through the back of the leg. Just lengthening through there. Use that hand to support the leg there if you want to. Just lengthen through the back of the leg. Well done. Good. Holding that there. And then if you can, we're going to point and flex through the ankle here. Just moving gently, pointing and flexing. Well done. And then holding that stretch again, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Well done. Breathing in and out here. Just lengthening through the back of that leg. Just holding it there, supporting it if you need to, just to where it's comfortable. Well done. And then slowly lowering that leg back down. Excellent. So let's stretch out through our bottom muscles. So one foot onto the opposite knee. Allow that leg just to relax open there. If that's enough of a stretch, then just stay there. Or if you can, we're going to bring the other leg up in towards you, just as far as you feel comfortable, and then holding this stretch here. I'm just going to breathe in and out on that out breath if you can, sinking down into that stretch just a little bit further if you can. Again, breath in and out. And relaxing down that little bit further. Well done. And again, breath in and out. Relaxing down into that stretch. Well done. Just feeling in that bottom upper thigh area here. Well done. Breathing in and out, relaxing down into that stretch just as far as you're comfortable. Good. No tension in those shoulders. Keep them nice and relaxed. Well done. As we're holding this here. And then just slowly lowering that leg back down. Do the same on the other side. Opposite foot onto the other knee. Allow that leg just to relax open there. If that's enough of a stretch, then just stay there. Or if you can, bring the other leg up and towards you, just as far as you feel comfortable, and then we'll hold this stretch here. So we'll breathe in and out. On that out breath, if you can, sink down into that stretch just a little bit further. Just on that out breath, dropping down, just feeling that stretch in those bottom muscles, those upper thigh here. Sinking down into that stretch. Well done. Again, no tension in that upper body, just keep that nice and relaxed as we're holding this stretch and just breathing in and out. And on the out breath, just dropping into that stretch just a tad more if you can. Well done. And one more breath in and out. And then relaxing that leg back down. Well done. Okay, so we're going to come back up into sitting. Just going to finish with a couple of nice stretches here. So just sitting comfortably, either the legs crossed or legs out in front, however you're comfortable. Make sure that weight's going nice and evenly down through those sitting bones. Okay, just take a nice deep breath in and out here, shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to bring our hands up to that shoulder height. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, rotate that body round to the side, breath in. And as we breathe out, back to that center. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, rotating around, breath in. And on that breath out, back to that center. Well done. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, rotating around. And back to that center. Lovely. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, rotating around, breath in here. And out. Lovely. One more time each side, breath in. As you breathe out, rotating that body around. And onto that out breath, back to the center. Last time. Reaching away. And back to that center. Well done. Relax those arms back down. We're going to drop one hand down here. We're going to reach the opposite over into that mermaid. Breath in. As you breathe out, back to that centre. Well done. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, reaching over. Breath in. And as you breathe out, back to that centre. One more time each side. Drop the hand down, reaching over. Breath in. And as you breathe out, back to that centre. One more time, reaching over. Breath in. And as you breathe out, back to that centre here. Relax those shoulders. Fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed the class today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.